I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Keyblade. Hi.
Hey, what's up, man?
I appreciate you coming on. If you would, please introduce yourself to everybody.
What's up, everybody? My name is KeybladeVT, a super duper small VTuber. Believe me or not, I am really small.
Are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I am. I think everybody told this like origins, like how do I became one. Ever since I got interested in the whole life back in 2022. I decided, you know what? I want to follow that trend, and here I am.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So you're a big Hollow fan?
Yes, I am. I've been into it since, like I said, 2022 and maybe 2021. But ever since then, I've been following their social medias, their Reddit. Surprisingly, Reddit. I never used Reddit that oftenly until they came around, and I literally follow all the tenants, even some graduated talents that just happened just a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So since then, from now, I'm still here, still a huge fan. So yeah.
So who's your number one?
Okay. Before Guru graduated, rest her soul. She was my number one because she's literally so funny, and I remember her and Callie being interviewed by MatPat at some point. That's actually that's real. You could just search it up on YouTube. It's out there somewhere.
Yep.
And she's funny. I remember that one stream where she was playing Power World, and she was using a mod of Dino Guru, and each time Dino Guru just summoned it, fart sound effects come out, and I was literally dead. And that's like, you know what, this shark is okay. She's fun. And of course, I have many other number ones ever since each new gen comes through. Right as of right now, my number one right now is Fuamoko. And last year, YouTube did this, Spotify Wrapped, kind of thing to see, what channel you watch the most.
Right.
And obviously 100% of it was the Fuamoko channel, and I am the top 2% of viewers.
Wow.
I know top 2 is small, but it based on whatever, I don't know how that algorithm works. I'm top 2%, and I did tweet it out, say I'm a true ruffian, and I still am to this day.
Man, that's don't sell yourself short on that. I mean, 2%, 2% of a lot of people to be out there. So that says a lot. What do you think of the newest English generation?
Oh man, and it's a hit. Always. I know. Okay, I know who Elizabeth is before she joined. She's like, I'm not gonna say her name outright, but she's been ever like 10 years ago. I hear her voice in a My Little Pony comic strip or My Little Pony fan animations. If you know who she is, hi. Or like, you're that old. Eventually, you're that old, along with another voice actress at the time. So if you hear those two together, then yes, I went through that phase. I still kind of am a little bit, but yeah. The Gigi Instant Classic. Instant Classic, even though it's, I think at this point nearly a year since they announced Gen 3. So there's that. There's Raw Panthora. I can't really get that name right. Jesus Christ. She's kind of funny, and in Italian. I mean, and she just recently released a voice pack for the first time in Italian. So I mean, you know what? Yeah, it's like, go for it, Italian viewers. If you're watching here, go for it. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
And Cecilia Emergreen, I'm already a fan because she's literally the funniest girl ever. She's like she can hate but in a funny way.
Yeah.
She can literally torture people for justice in a funny way. It's just like that whole new gen is just like goodness gracious. They Hololive know their picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna treat it like a draft. They know their picks,
Mhm.
especially with the veteran like Liz.
Yeah.
Or she's a really heavy veteran, so
Yeah.
yeah, that gen is just incredible.
It really if they were going to pick four people and just those four were perfect.
Yeah.
And they seem to be pretty seamless with the rest of the folks that are already there. Um,
Yeah.
and it um, and you could leave them on their own channel and enough people would watch them. They're all very talented and have their own type of things.
Of
I
course.
think Gigi might end up with 7 million people by the time they're done. I mean,
Yeah.
as chaotic as that person is, they're all over the place. But yeah, it's been interesting to watch. So, what were your feelings when they had a few graduations?
Oh man, I remember my first experience of a graduation like many years ago was Rusia.
Hmm.
Not many people really well there are some fans that still, believe Rusia didn't do anything bad, but and behind the person behind the character in general,
Hmm.
she's a bad apple.
Hmm.
But that was my first experience with graduation slash termination. It's mostly a termination.
Hmm.
Everybody was scrambling around at the time and see why did she do this and all that.
Hmm.
And by the end of it, it's like, oh, it's just like something happened with this other person they were with, yada yada yada.
Hmm.
And it just spiraled out of control. The next one. The next one was definitely A Chan, who
Hmm.
her reasoning was her one of the family members passed away, so
Right.
that's a really unfortunate thing to hear. And retiring was literally her best option
Yeah.
because she wants to spend time with the family
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and and it's just stick with them as long as they can. And the hardest one to me personally was Sana because she was so nice. She was so calm and really really wholesome
Yeah.
and she really is. Nowadays she's just the person behind the character is an artist now.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's doing great. Mume was actually, to be honest, it was actually kind of expected because she said within the past 2 years she has hit this chronic cough that her and the rest of their management tried their best to find at
Hmm.
least a doctor or some medical expert to see if there's a way to get rid of it or like lower it to not being, come out more often, but
Right.
they couldn't really figure everything out. So unfortunately, they had to step down
Mm.
because of that.
Right.
Right now, hopefully she's getting better,
Right.
and hopefully, whatever the future takes her, I hope it goes well.
Mm.
Obviously, Gura was for me personally was the heaviest after the stream was finished. I went to the kitchen and I just stood there making food and I just like broke down. It was the baddest breakdown that I ever experienced
Mm.
because like I said earlier, she's really funny. She's literally my favorite, my one of my Yoshis, and when her mini graduation was live, I actually didn't have the heart to watch it because
Yeah.
I don't have enough strength for that. I'm like
Yeah.
26 years old. I know age doesn't really matter, but what I'm feeling at the time was so unexplainable. I wasn't me,
Right.
because
Right. You
she's leaving,
you're just kind of in
and
shock at that point. It does.
yeah,
Yeah. And then you think, well, it's announced it's not really going to happen, and then it does happen. Um.
yeah.
So with their last song, how did that hit you?
the last song. I haven't even gotten the chance to listen to that. I need to listen to it at some point. Hopefully that channel hopefully her channel is still around. But before I get to it, I just like I don't want to miss anything.
Mm.
S but from what I've heard from the 8-bit drummer, when he talks about the lyrics of the song, he said, and probably many others agree, it's like thank God that she's leaving because based on what she went through for these past few years, she was super busy. There was a bright spotlight on her for the duration of her time.
Mm.
And it was just so much for her, and that was like a really heavy weight on her shoulders.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
ever since that song released, from in by the lyric standpoint, like, oh, that's gone.
Mm.
She's finally free,
Mm.
and I really need to listen to it. If the lyrics it says that if it's that uplifting of all that weight, then I need to give myself a chance to listen to it. I
Yeah,
need to.
yeah, and the video to it too
Oh
is
yeah.
it's heavy stuff, but it's and you people can parse it out how they want and take little bits and here and there and try to figure out what's going on, but the
Hmm.
it definitely does reflect and bring a lot of things to light, what they were going through, um,
Yeah.
and it. But besides that, it's a hella song. I mean, I mean, it goes from the things that you'd heard from the pop type things that you hear from a lot
Hmm.
of. It's not that. It's
No.
not in the slightest. And it's a different style, and it's um from gathering from your experiences before. I would say be alone when you watch
Yes.
it. We're not going to do a live watch along with you right now. No,
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 no, no.
no. I love let you. I'll let you have that yourself. But once you got
Yes.
started with the VTubing and got an idea to go, um, how long did it take you to get on, and how, are you comfortable with it yet?
Well, I started 3 years ago at this point,
Hmm.
so around 2022, 2022. I think I got in my laptop around 2021, I believe.
Hmm.
And it took me like around a year or so to to jump on to that train to see what's going on. The
Hmm.
first PNG, not the one I sent you, the first one I've created was in a Splatoon fan-made avatar maker,
Mm.
and that itself was my first experience to like build up like an avatar to
Yeah.
see if how I make it fit. No, it's
Right.
not AI. Don't speculate that, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's just classic avatar making on a website. It's
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I mean,
And of
it's
course,
you used it. You
yes,
you used the tool to create this, and that's all it is.
yes, and of course, I have to give credit to the origin to the owner of the website, the
Right.
one who made these assets, and I did that for the at least for the first year and a half until I started using Duolingo
Mm.
to learn Japanese.
Mm.
It was a great time, by the way. It was great. While using Duolingo, they have an option to make your avatar to see, to make, yourself or or the person behind the character. So I went to, well, basically the person behind the character, me, the actual me.
Yeah.
And because at the time there wasn't that many options. And by the way, Duolingo is free. You can literally make your own avatar for free. You can make there's so many there's so many facial expressions. There's so many costumes you could do.
Yeah.
I really need to get back and change outfits. Even though it's limited, but it's working.
Yeah.
Yes, it's working. So they and of course Duolingo is not the only website that have avatar makers. There's also Ponytown. If you like a fan to My Little Pony, you can make your own pixelated pony in there.
Yeah.
I used that like 10 years ago, and it is still going to this day. You can still make it your own pony avatar there. Just go ahead and go over there and make one
Yeah.
if you're a fan.
Oh yeah.
This,
That'll be
yes.
going for a long time. There's no stopping that. That'll be going for quite a while. Now,
Yeah,
how did
yeah.
the Japanese go? Were you able to
Oh man,
were you able to get a little bit in or?
let me see. Let's see how many pages I have here. I'm gonna I have to grab a composition notebook here. There's like one, I'll say, sh- I think over 10 pages at this point.
Mm,
So when I went through the journey of learning Japanese on Duolingo, they got me to the basics.
hmm
Basically, like, hi, hello, goodbye, and all that such.
hmm
And of course, it teaches me to like write down the character of the kanji signs
Oh yeah.
and all that stuff. And
Oh
it's pretty fun. And yes, I kind of mix up some things like this is really similar, but it's so different.
right.
And it confuses you. So I love that little bit of a challenge at the time.
Yeah.
And both, what was it, hiragana and katakana, both of them are the same thing, but they're different. The characters are nearly identical, but different.
Right.
Different.
Right. Right. And there was one of
And
those things that if you don't know
uh-huh.
Japanese, you wouldn't really notice the differences between them.
Yes, because forming a sentence with those characters, it's all one sentence. There's no spaces depending on what you're saying,
Right.
really. And it's just so much to devour.
hmm
But once you get in the hang of it, at least for a few weeks, you kind of get an understanding. The most easier way to understand Japanese is, I think it was katakana, because katakana tells you like, oh, it's using borrowed words
Mm,
to understand. For basically, I think lily is a borrowed word. Uh, and many other words that kind of sounds similar to Japanese. And sometimes Japanese people do speak like that borrowed word like lily
right.
and many other words that's sounding similar to the English language.
Right.
So
Right.
yes.
Yeah, it kind of bridges it a little bit between the two, and
Hmm.
and and yeah, I wish I would have um, learned a language earlier, in when I was in school, or way back in the 1800s when I was in school, or the learned it, because I kind of kick myself now, because even at my job, Spanish, for example, would have been perfect. Um,
That yes, speaking of Spanish, I am bilingual. I do speak Spanish as well.
mm,
But the thing is that I'm slowly losing my Spanish features based on speaking, because
mm.
from some odd reason I passed my Spanish classes, even though I don't speak Spanish that often. As of right now, I'm speaking English,
Right.
American.
American
And
English, yeah.
it's I sometimes I do speak Spanish a little bit. And maybe throwing in the mix as well while speaking Spanish. Like first I speak this Spanish first, then add English into it, and what people would call it Spanglish, mix
Yeah,
the Spanish and English together.
yeah.
So
But
I really want to like speak more Spanish in the future, because I do want to communicate with the Spanish or with the Latino people,
sure,
and I do want to have a connection with them
yeah.
in the native language.
Would you
So
stream in Spanish if you could?
Oh my God. Streaming in Spanish, that's hard because there are some words that are like huge and they're really hard to pronounce it. And
Mm.
for example, there's a city in Mexico they're called Guatemala.
Mm.
In Spanish, it's kind of hard because your tongue kind of get twisted
Yeah.
because you're trying to say without, making it twist itself. So it's kind of hard to say, even though I speak Spanish as well. It's weird, but it personally for me, it's hard.
Yeah.
And any other word too, they're like big in Spanish, it's kind of hard to say it.
Yeah, and there are some. I envy you that because you actually have more words you can use. Because there are some things that have words in one language but not in another language, and uh, instead of using 55 different words to say something, you can just say Sudad or something like that. I mean that's I mean you come up with a word that fits it perfectly, and that
Hmm.
just I think that just expands what you're able to express. But yeah, my
Yeah.
unfortunately the little Spanish that I do recognize comes from like Sesame Street and um, listening to a lot of radio stations when I was a kid and picking it up from there. That's pretty much
Oh,
yeah. That's pretty much it.
yeah.
It doesn't go much further than that. Um,
Yeah.
but I really wish I knew Spanish better than I do. I'm kind of surprised there aren't more Spanish uh, VTubers around, given the audience is huge,
Hmm.
and I would think there'd be if someone came on with a schedule that had a regular Spanish broadcast, people would tune in.
Well, I know a few VTubers who speak Spanish. One of them is obviously Iron Mouse.
Hmm.
She's Puerto Rican,
Hmm.
and she speaks Spanish. She doesn't speak Spanish like in one whole stream, like just Spanish only. She
Right.
doesn't do that oftenly. I'm not sure. And the second one, the person's name Haka from Hollow Stars.
Mm.
He's Spanish as well. He also speaks Spanish to his mother in some streams. So
Mm.
yeah, there's that. But yes, you are correct. There isn't that many Spanish or Spanish speaking VTubers
Hmm.
out there.
Yeah.
And there are, and I think I remember following. I think following a Spanish company. I don't know their name,
Yeah, I think there was one for a
but
while, but I think it went under a little while back. But
yeah.
I've got the chance to interview quite a few Spanish speaking folks who are doing in different countries, Central and Latin America and South America as well. Um,
Hmm.
it's so amazing, and I want to get your take on this. Um, that given what's happening on VTubing, you can talk to somebody every day on the other side of the planet, and they can tune into
Hmm.
you from the other side of the planet. Has that ever hit you every once in a while when you're on stream that you're actually broadcasting to the world?
Uh, During my time before I became a VTuber, I remember streaming at my aunt's house on my phone. That's where everybody starts on your phone or your
Right.
like a low range computer. I remember streaming it, and there was this guy who I think he was Brazilian, told me, "Oh, can you like sing the song like in Brazilian?" And I was like, "Okay, some people live in Brazil to like look
Yeah.
at me." And at the time, I was like so inexperienced. I was like so a rookie at that point.
Yeah.
And and I thought to myself, "Oh my God, literally everybody around the world is watching me." I mean,
Yeah.
I and on Twitter, I've been followed by a few Japanese VTubers here and there,
Yeah.
and I was surprised, like, okay, I don't speak Japanese, obviously,
Yeah.
and I'm genuinely surprised for them following me, and I think maybe they have interest there. And I know one account that has like, I think they're called Dwarf Brothers, three Japanese dwarf slash Viking VTubers who always are Japanese,
Yeah.
and three of them just like together making content. And
Right.
I think they were the first Japanese VTuber that followed me.
Mm.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, hello. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're still going, and they're kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, it's gotta, it makes the planet really small in a way,
Hmm.
and when you realize that it's like, say you watch somebody from Holostars, or Hololive, I should say, and they're in Japan or the Philippines or Indonesia or something along those lines, and you're on the other side of the planet from them,
Hmm.
and then you go on, and somebody in Indonesia is now watching you. It comes right back to you. It's a real kind of circle.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait a second. Now I kind of have a little bit of an idea of how these people feel. Now everybody's watching. The potential is so huge,
Yes.
and I'm glad people are enjoying it. So what do you normally stream when you're on?
As of right now, since I have a low mid laptop, a low to mid range laptop, it costs a lot of money because I remember buying it during when former president, no politics, but uh, when that guy give out stimulus checks
Mm-hmm.
at the time, I went to I think Sam's Club
Mm-hmm.
and about this. I don't know the name of this laptop. It doesn't have a name, but I check at the graph they've been, displaying. I saw one, it was like a tiny laptop and their like specs are like below average. And this is like and the one I have now is like mid, nearly below, but more to the middle side, like average,
Yeah.
like power.
Yeah.
It's like your basic laptop. You could check emails on it, playing emulators most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I play emulators. Sue me. Uh, and and in general, it's fine.
Yeah.
At that time, after purchasing the laptop, I everything just went fast. I just made my I just settled into to streaming on Twitch for the first time
Mm-hmm.
properly on a laptop. I learned how to use Streamlabs. Streamlabs at the time was way easier to understand than OBS,
Yes.
and it was like basically OBS for babies. But that was before I became a VTuber. I was like, ooh, a human, a flesh tuber, where people most called
Yeah.
people like that.
I,
And yes, and
yeah.
years later, here I am. And now I'm using OBS to stream on YouTube because I kind of getting a little, I kind of getting away of the training wheels that is Streamlabs. So
Right.
I'm get more experience on OBS. I'm still kind of new to it because I don't know how to make, for example, put my square PNG in front of the green screen. I don't know how to do that yet. It's
Yeah.
just like, or make things come behind the square. So I can't do that. I don't know how. But hopefully one day I will learn about it.
Well, it's just, I mean,
I
just
will,
practice making perfect here, and the more you do it, the more it'll come second nature to you. I mean,
yeah.
that's just the way it works, and the once you get yourself settled that way, then you get to be settled in all the other things too, I would think. Um, and it doesn't. It's a it's still interesting to me to hear people's how they set up, how they decide to get started. Because some people like take out loans on their house and get started on it. And I'm like, man, what if you don't like it in a week? What if you have a
I
bad
mean,
experience?
I mean, starting content creating on like into the internet, it's really not that hard. Obviously, you have your phone. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's one of many things to like start content creating. I did start with my phone like 10 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember making slideshows for the fandoms I was in at the time, and YouTube at the time. it was so free. I didn't have issue with copyright. I
Right.
didn't have issue with the MCA. I just started blasting Kesha, Katy Perry,
Right.
some songs from video games. It was everywhere, and one of them made a huge hit before I, rebranded. Uh, it was like around 1.5K views at that
Mm,
time. I was
dang.
like, okay, yeah, sure, that was a hit. But again, I had to get rid of it because I don't want everybody to see that side of me. Yes, I know making fun of myself during that time is not really a good thing.
Yeah.
But I've grown up. I realized like, oh my God, did I really just do that? And
Wait,
and I
wait till
just
you're
go,
twice your age. Yeah. You have
yeah,
a
I'm
lot more
twice,
than that to
yeah,
do.
yes, I'm twice in my age
Yeah.
now. And the channel itself, it's been around over 10 years now.
Mm,
I didn't really make a new one for the current me, KeybladeVT. I didn't make it because again at the time I was like, getting into it head first without, creating a second email and all that.
yeah.
And I just want to do it in one area because I don't want to be, multitasking it for like, oh, here's the VTuber channel, here's like the fleshy channel. I
Yeah.
like, I don't want to like
Y-
get confused.
Yeah.
So now I just doing everything in one setting. If by some chance I like decided to quit VTubing, I'm definitely gonna use the same channel to rebrand it back to where I was before I became a VTuber.
Mm,
But that doesn't mean I'm doing it right away. It's just like later in the future.
yeah. Yeah. And once if I tune into one of your streams, what are you usually doing?
Usually play games that doesn't tank my low to mid-range computer.
Mm,
Basically emulators, Balatro. Oh, and the only problem I'm having right now is, consistency.
mm,
As of what was it? Like around 2 months ago,
mm-hmm,
I uploaded my first video for this year.
mm,
It's yes, and the first video was me flying to Georgia because my brother is in the army, and
mm,
he just at the time he literally became a soldier,
mm.
and I decided to like record myself getting lift off. It didn't really lasted when the plane started like going up. I just stopped before it was going up because at the time it was my first time flying
Right.
and I had to get comfortable before and stop. So I stopped before the liftoff, and I kind of regretted it because I do want to record not the whole flight, obviously not, but at least 30 minutes of it. But I just did nearly half of it,
Mm,
and oh my God! But I am going back there for my brother's second graduation,
mm-hmm.
his official graduation,
Yeah.
the real stuff. So yeah, I am gonna re-record that, obviously because I want to make it up. So
Yeah.
there's that because I'm getting better now.
Yeah.
The first time flying, oh my God, I was
Yeah.
like slightly panicking because it was
Yeah.
uh it
I'm
was
I,
surreal.
I'm not a fan of heights. In fact, I can openly admit to being afraid of heights, and
Oh
I
man.
still, at my age, and I'm like over twice as old as you are, and
Oh my God.
I have never been on a plane. Um, I think that's the only thing I've got on my bucket list that will that may come true eventually. That's it. The money part ain't gonna come true anytime soon.
Oh man,
Yeah, but
yeah, it was,
the other stuff
yeah.
will. So, what have you got any goals for this year for your channel?
Uh, uh, Always my one goal that I wanna like go back into is consistency. I wanna
Mm,
keep uploading the way I was like nearly a year and a half ago. And during that time, I was showcasing and doing a Let's Play series
Yeah.
was Pokemon Recharge Yellow, a Pokemon Yellow ROM hack or
Mm.
remake.
Yeah.
It was exactly the way it is, but in a different engine, and the Pokemon Emerald engine,
Okay.
because Gen 3 in general is the most used engine generation to make ROM hacks in general, and as well as Gen 2. Gen
Yeah.
2 has the most, but Gen 3 is more because it's more modern, it's more advanced than Gen 2. And during the first episode, the showcase, it did really well, and because people taking interest. So,
Right.
of course, I didn't make a goal like, let's say, for example, 3 likes. If this really get 3 likes, we're gonna keep going and
Hmm.
make it into a Let's Play series, and that did happen. And of course, during the Let's Play series, I did covered patch notes for the game like that just get updated,
Right.
and it I kept doing that over and over again, and I think as of right now it's at 1.8.0 at this point. I didn't cover that yet because again, consistency, and I didn't
Yeah.
really do much, and I do want to go back to it at some point because the maker of that ROM hack, Jaizu, he's they are currently doing a remake of Pokemon Crystal as
Oh.
Recharged Crystal,
Okay.
and yeah, because I think at this moment Gen 2 in general there isn't that many ROM hacks for it or remakes of that generation. There are remakes on the Nintendo DS, but they're really expensive.
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah.
so yeah, they're using an Emerald engine, obviously, because they have more experience since
Right.
they keep doing updates for Recharge Yellow. So they are doing they're making it at this point, and hopefully somewhere in the future I want to showcase it as well because Generation 2 is literally my favorite generation. I don't care about the outliers. They're saying, "Oh, Gen 2 is bad because special and all that stuff." I personally don't care because it's literally my favorite generation. Crystal itself is my favorite game,
Yeah.
and it's funny because and the number 2 is like a number. Some people say, "Oh, it's just a number." No, Kingdom Hearts 2 is my favorite. Generation 2 is my favorite. The color blue is my favorite. Red, blue, green, in the
Yeah.
RGB and or in the
Yeah.
color
Yes.
thingy, in the color
RGB,
weird.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and so people say Final Fantasy 2 is the worst Final Fantasy series of the game. Uh, to 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 its own, I love Final Fantasy 2. I did beat it on the GBA version of it because there's more content into it. So
Yeah.
again, I just love 2, and Gen 2 is literally my favorite. So whenever a public demo of Recharge Crystal comes out, I would love to showcase it because I'm biased.
Well, I got to tell you this. It's great to talk with you because you're obviously so into this. I mean, it sounds like. I mean, I can hear it in your voice how much you enjoy the entire idea of the VTubing and being a part of it. Um, and you've been it for a couple of years now. Has it all been fun for you, or has it been tough at times?
Oh my God. When during a year and a half ago when I was doing, the Recharge Yellow Let's Play, I was having so much fun because people are taking interest
Hmm.
to the stuff. And of course there's other showcases I did during a time because the showcase I didn't really plan it. It was just, what if I do this
Hmm.
to see if people will like it. And I'm a very small VTuber, very small. So getting viewers, just even like a specks of viewers here and there, is just really hard to do because algorithm, keywords in the title of the video, all that stuff. I don't know much of it, but whenever a keyword or something happens, I was like, oh, okay, surprisingly they love it. And I just, kept going. You keep using the same names, the same title, and do little small changes, and eventually it builds up. I think one episode right now of the Recharge Let's Play series was, let's say, I'll say that's somewhere around 2.5K views.
Yeah,
It
cool.
was, and that was literally the most view video ever since becoming a VTuber. Literally the
Wow.
most view video. I think it still is to this point.
That's great.
Uh,
You know,
yes, I was.
you're just so enthusiastic about it, and that's going to show if anybody, folks out there. We're going to have all the links we've been able to find for you. All the
Mhm.
Keyblade VT's stuff is going to be in the description for the interview,
Yeah.
and you absolutely have to check out what Keyblade's got going on, because this is just kind of a sample what we've talked with Keyblade about, because it's going to be amplified even more once you're able to catch the streams and check out the videos on the YouTube channel. I gotta say, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you.
Yeah.
It's gone on very fast, and
Mhm.
and it's just a pleasure to hear somebody enjoying themselves so much. And I hope it can keep going for you in the future. And when it does, we'll get you back on. How about that?
Oh my God, I would love to come back again. I would love to. If people that take interest of me, sure, I'll come back like in a second. Same day if they want me back, I'll do the interview the same day if they want to.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.